everyone. Welcome to Extra Connections. I'm James Lott Jr. of JLJ Media, and I started this show about 8, 9 years ago, and it's all about talking with people in the community and having conversations with them and connecting with them and talking about how they connect with others. And we've done that so many times. I mean, we've done almost 400 of these shows. I've had millions of guests or whatever. I don't know how many I've had on here. I've had great conversations, and I'm excited about this one because she and I both are part of a book right now that's a #1 Amazon bestseller. You can overcome anything, volume 16. We both are in this place how we met. And you may have noticed last couple of weeks I've had people. She's like the third person I've had on from that book. We all became friends. We connected. We all connected. And so I'm very excited to have her on the show. She's a lovely human being. And as you can see, it's Dr. Renee Rodriguez. Hi, Renee.
How are you this morning?
So I'm getting over a cold. I was sick earlier this week. But I've been relaxing in my home. It's been great weather here in LA. I've been taking advantage of just kind of like laying around and and not working as much. It's been actually very nice. It's been very nice. So I'm starting to feel better. I have like the last residual stuff coming up. So, but we're good.
Right.
Just right now. But yeah, it's all coming up. I want
On
to
its way.
I take everything to get rid of it. You know, all the tea. I'm a big tea person. Chicken soup, all that stuff. I love it. Um, so now, folks, we're gonna this as we do on the show. We do something a little different. We're gonna have a conversation, and I call this one Doctor. So as you know, I'll go first. As you know, I have a doctorate in divinity, and maybe you guys are like, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? So I have read the Bible backwards and forwards, and I went for study and for my doctorate. I have a bachelor's, I have a master's, all that kind of stuff. But I went myself for my doctorate, and my studies were women of the Bible. That was my focus in it because there's some wonderful women in the Bible and very interesting stories. And I had a great time, and so that's when I got my doctorate in divinity. So I am Dr. Lott, and some people call me Dr. James, Dr. JLJ. I've got all kind of names, but that's kind of funny. I love education, so if you guys notice online, I have a lot of letters after my name. One day I'll explain every single set of letters, folks. One day I'll break it down for you. But I love education. I always say education should never stop. As long as you're alive, it should never stop. I want to die learning. That's how I want to keep going, right?
Good for you.
And so I'm with another doctor. I'm gonna have her tell you what her doctorate is in. So, Dr. Renee, please tell us.
Well, thank you. We are lifelong learners, and I appreciate you acknowledging that about us. I am Eleanor Renee Rodriguez, affectionately called Dr. Renee. My doctorate is in the superintendency. What does that mean? That means I racked up a bachelor's, master's, specialist, and PhD in education. So the top of the food chain, if you will, is the superintendency. So educational administration and supervision are the areas that are my expertise as a way to meet my purpose of making certain every child get what they deserve when they're being educated.
And I think a lot of folks out there. I'm a parent. I'm a grandparent. I'm also an uncle and a great uncle, and I just said I love education, and I was very fortunate to go to a couple of good schools in my life, and some
Uh-oh.
bad
Here we
schools.
go. Absolutely.
I've done both.
Leadership.
Yes, but what I want to start off with though, with you, my first opening statement will be: we almost forget that the children are our future. I know it's a song. I know everybody knows Whitney Houston. That's a song. But I feel like we almost forget that children are our future
Absolutely.
when it comes to education, right?
And the decisions that we make in education that do not have a thing to do with children.
It's crazy. My grandchildren, one set of them, went to an arts-based school.
Art space.
Arts. I'm gonna say it fast. Arts-based school.
Okay.
It was called Leonardo da Vinci. There's a bunch of them running around.
Okay.
Leonardo da Vinci, of course.
Right.
Once they went there, I could tell you their proficiency in everything went up because it's been proven time and time again, the arts help in all areas of life.
Thank you.
So I was just saying, for me, watching them flourish in a school that encouraged them to use both sides of their brain was, I didn't grow up with that, so it was very interesting to see that and see the development. I'm sure you've seen all kinds of situations. Where are you based? I think we'll start there. Where are you based?
Right now, I'm in Hampton, Virginia, but I'm glad you said that about the arts piece,
Yes.
because when school district budgets are tight, what's the first thing that they get rid of? So they leave that one half of the brain not active,
Yep.
and focus on the cognitive piece. And all they're doing is thinking, but they're not thinking creatively and they're not thinking critically.
They're not. My niece Haley went to Hampton College. I can speak of that.
Oh, wow.
She did. She graduated from the Hampton College. She's back here in LA. And a little side note, Taylor Swift, who of course is really big right now, went to Hampton College when she was there. Like, my niece is a cheerleader. And in her video, Shake It Off, she's the black cheerleader in the video. That's how she's known as. She is the black cheerleader in the video. So
okay.
That happened when they were at Hampton. She came to Hampton and used their cheerleaders. So
there you go.
That's very nice.
I've only been here since June, coming here from San Diego, California. So I missed you while I was there, but I'll be back.
Wait a minute. You're a West Coaster.
Well, actually, I'm a Midwesterner because, hold your mouth.
Okay.
I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. Don't open your mouth. See there? I told you. I warned you in advance. I warned you.
You did. I couldn't stop myself. I got a big mouth. Couldn't stop myself.
It's like that all the time. Anytime I say Omaha, Nebraska, because of all these things people conjure in their head about the Midwest. But see, it works perfectly, especially for me.
Yeah. Like, well, let me think about something. So there must be. So is there a rich Black history in Omaha that I still know about?
Absolutely, there is. Absolutely, there is. You would not have believed that we had a Miss Nebraska that was Black. Wow. You will not believe that we have had a senator that was well known throughout the state that was Black, Ernie Chambers. And he's still a very active person. And no one could get him out of that office until they changed the law about the term limits. Wow. We have had so many people out of Omaha, Nebraska. And the challenge is, the first question we're always asked is, or statement they make is, I didn't know there were Black people in Nebraska.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I really didn't know.
But then if you think about it, the railroads, the packing houses, where did Black people go to get jobs? The railroads.
Yeah, you're right.
And the packing houses.
You're right. I mean, why if they're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, why not Omaha, Nebraska? Right? Why
there you go.
Why not Denver, Colorado? Why not? I mean, that's all the Rockies and Midwest. You're right. They're all through there. You're right. They're in Kansas, right next to you, Missouri, right next to you.
Absolutely. And everybody knows Kansas City, and they figured that the demographics are different there than they are in Omaha and Des Moines, but you'd be surprised. Des Moines as in Iowa.
Yeah, I've been there. I know Des Moines.
Okay.
Wow. I see. Education never ends. I learned something new on myself. Never.
And just think, you didn't have to pay tuition.
I love free education.
Me too. That's the best kind.
It is. I love free education.
No student loans.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. No, I seriously, in all seriousness, I've traveled through the many parts of the Midwest, and I have been always pleasantly surprised at what I found. But in Omaha, Nebraska, I just never knew there were. I know there's Omaha, there's Lincoln, Nebraska. Those are only two big cities I know of. I never thought there were Black folks in there.
And that's because of the Cornhuskers. So the football team from University of Nebraska at Omaha, basically, and Mutual of Omaha, put Nebraska on the map. Yeah. But then when it comes to Black folk, we're not part of that from most people's geographical training. But that has to go back to schools. Some people had good schools, and they shared some stuff. And other people had schools that weren't quite up to par. And that's my purpose in life, make sure every child is able to have those opportunities so they can be successful.
Wait a minute. So then, how did you get out of Nebraska? Did you just like to go to school somewhere else, and that just brought you out?
Well, I'll tell you. I'll first begin by saying I have never been in the military. So my moving has nothing to do with military. But I attended school in Omaha, Nebraska, Creighton University, and I attended University of Nebraska at Omaha, and then I got my PhD at the University of Texas at Austin.
Oh,
But I was a person that wanted to be an administrator early on. I knew I can get the job done, and as you're aware, in my story, I talked about how one of the things I didn't give up was my effort to become a person responsible for research and professional development for people at the American Association of School Administrators. But the challenge was when I don't get my way, that's the nicest way I can put it. I wanted to be an administrator. I knew I had skills that I could share, and I saw what was going on in the classroom. So I'd moved. So I've lived in Nebraska, Illinois, Texas, Oklahoma, California twice, now Virginia twice, and DC for a minute, because I was searching and seeking places where they were adaptable to the kind of person I am that's a transformational leader, where tradition does not work for me because we don't have traditional children.
right.
Or what we call as tradition.
Yeah, that's true. Um, and you know, as you look back, any of those cities that you lived and worked in, went to school in, are any of them your favorites or one of your favorites? Or anyone like stand out and go, you know, I really loved living here and I got some good work done?
I think the locations aren't as favorites as much as the positions that I held.
Okay.
For example, I wouldn't just live in Oklahoma City because it was Oklahoma City, but I loved being an elementary school principal.
Got it. Okay.
I would not go to San Diego. Well, I went there for fun, basically. But I would not go to some of the other places that I've gone and say, oh, this is my favorite place. I want to live here the rest of my life. Because people have asked me, based on the number of places I lived, where is your favorite place?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you where my favorite friends are. I can tell you where my favorite extended family members are, but I can't tell you my favorite place because I've consulted in 48 out of 50 states. And then I've traveled abroad to all of the continents that I want to go to as a consultant. So no favorite place, but favorite people.
That's better. I like that. Favorite
Thank
people,
you.
favorite jobs. One of the things that I did when I turned 39, I was unhappy at my job, was not happy in the city I lived in, was not happy at all. So I sat down and I got one of those, and I know folks is old school. This was 2008 or whatever, 7. I sat down and I got a lined notebook, a pad of paper, and I wrote all the jobs I liked. At each job, what I liked about it. I decided to go the opposite route of like all the jobs I hated. What I do, and I said, no, it'll be fun. I was really going because I've had a varied career myself. I've done everything from nursing. I was a registered nurse to insurance to retail. I've done it all. So I said, well, each job, what did I like about them? And I wrote it all down. And I started noticing some of the same things coming up. I'm like, oh, I do like customer service. I do like organization. I do like all these things. I like making a difference. I like, so and that's how I kind of led me to this. But just before you said that, I was like, I was thinking it wasn't. You're right. It wasn't like that was my favorite job per se or my favorite city I lived in when I did it. But it was just kind of like I felt good when I was there, and it's the things I liked about it. So I kind of just piggyback off of you. That's what I did. And I changed my life at 40. I changed my whole life to where I am now. So born. Okay, let's see. Born. You put your hand behind it. I think it does. I think you put your hand behind it. Something. I think it
Well, I will just tell you, it says born to teach. So reflection is very important for us to think about what we've done, where we are now, in order for us to go to our next spot.
See, we agree.
So writing is important. So that reflection piece. So you should do a job description for yourself with your favorite things, and then create your own job.
You can, right?
You already have part of the job done.
You can. Well, I've created my job. I'm happy what I'm doing. But I'm saying, but my whole thing for people is we always focus on the negative
Mm-hmm.
to motivate us, right? But I'm saying I don't need the negative to motivate me. That was the difference. It's like, no, I can think of the positive to motivate me and go, like you said, yes, I can actually do whatever this is. And see, I'm doing stuff that wasn't invented back in 2008. So it's kind of weird. There was just this thing called podcasting. There was this thing is
Right.
I'm doing jobs that weren't invented yet.
Right.
Kind
Good
of,
for
I
you.
knew there were certain things I wanted to do and outcomes I wanted that those are happening. I never thought it'd be this. I never thought in a million years I'd be a host of a show and I have a guest like you on and we're talking. That wasn't even invented yet. But I knew I wanted to talk with people and help affect change. I know
There
what it
you
looked
go.
like, but I knew I wanted to. I loved being parts of associations and meetings and that kind of stuff. I knew that.
Right.
But but what Dr. Renee is saying, I think is true for you guys who are following along with this and follow what I did, write it all down. And maybe your job is right there. Because my aunt said the same thing, and she has several doctorates and she's smart. And she said, there's a business in there. She said to me, there's a business in there.
Good deal.
She goes, I don't know what it is. Only you know what it is, but there's a business in there. I was like, what are you talking about? I have no idea.
Podcast.
I had no idea what she was talking about. I figured it out. Obviously, I figured it out 17 years later. But my thing was just that it's kind of you and I are kind of the same. It's like I like to write stuff down. I got notepads, stuff. I got stuff everywhere. I'm always writing stuff down.
You don't even want to look beyond this screen. I mean, just don't even look.
Yeah, I know. I love writing stuff down. But I'll go back to you because this is fascinating to me. So you had decided you wanted to be an administrator. So it's almost like me being a producer. We're behind the scenes many times. We're
Right.
helping create the changes that affect everyone. You want to do that and not necessarily be a teacher then. You didn't want to be a teacher. You want to be an administrator. Is that what I'm hearing?
Almost.
Okay.
I wanted to be an administrator who was an instructional leader that could lead teachers to do the right things for children. So it all comes back to the children. That was my ultimate goal. And if the leader is focused on children, then everybody else in the organization, what are they going to be focused on? The children. Versus if the leader is focused on passing the state test, then everybody in the district is going to be focused on passing the state test. There are no jobs, and I promise you there aren't jobs that say, okay, I'm going to hire you if you fill in this bubble exactly right. There are no jobs with job descriptions that say all you're going to do is fill in bubbles. The closest job to that were the jobs that were had back in the day when you were responsible for this widget and you were responsible for this widget. And you didn't have to think. But now we have to be thinkers because we have technology up the gazoo. AI is doing half of our work, but we still have to be able to think in order for them to be able to create the information that we want. So I wanted to be an administrator, back to your question, but I wanted to be an administrator who affect those who affect the children. And I don't care which category they're in as a stakeholder. I don't care if they're a board member. I don't care if they're a parent, a paraprofessional, a teacher, administrator, a grocery store owner, whoever affects children, then the leader of that district or of that organization is responsible for sending the right message out to all those who are affecting the people that they're responsible for. I don't have a problem with performance pay because I know I'll perform. But those who have a problem with that are those who have a tendency, not everybody, to not get the job done. How can I teach somebody, or how can I teach third graders for 12 years of my 30-year career and half of my children still can't read? What happened to performance?
Right. Yeah, I know
I hope that answered your question.
it did, but I know people who they get to high school and they really can't. They can't read. They really can't. And either it's because they're good at sports, so they passed them along. The classrooms are too crowded, so he said, look at everybody the same. they either some kids are good at taking tests or just good at taking tests. They get through. It's all kind of reasons. And they get through and they get to like the 9th, 10th, 11th grade. They're like, I don't know how to read.
And they're not going to tell anybody.
Nope.
We are so comfortable in this country saying, oh, no, I'm not good at math. Have you ever heard anybody say, oh, I'm not good at reading?
Yep, all the time. Nope.
No, they'll hide that they can't read because it's embarrassing. But then what's more embarrassing for real is that let me tell you, back up a little bit. I tired at 62, not retired, but tired at 62. And I just stopped because I didn't feel as though my message was getting across. Although I had 3 editions of one book and everybody says it's great and grand and all this other kind of good stuff. But the challenge was when we start talking about the success of children at near 72, I said, I know I got too much between my ears in order to take this with me when I go out. So I decided to get up and start doing some more things. But then one of the research things that I found, and I'm not going to research you, but this is one example. The National Assessment for Educational Progress, NAEP, is like the United States report card. Well, shortly after COVID, they did a test and it showed 3 fingers. Think about it. Only 1/3, choose the right finger, 1/3 of 4th graders read at or above the 4th grade level. Now think about it. Since COVID, those same children that could not read, those 1/3 could, but the other 2/3 could not read. They're now 12th graders. What do you think NAEP's results are this year? They still can't read. So our challenge is, are we focused on the children and what they need, or are we focused on passing tests? Plain and simple. But who wants to hear that besides me?
Right. I know. It's tough. Because I'm seeing a subset of my first set of grandchildren become adults and what they're struggling with and with the things that they were not taught. They were not taught about how to balance their budget, how to set a budget, how to pay for bills. They have no idea. They're struggling right now. They have no idea.
Financial literacy was not taught.
Nope. Of that. They just don't. They don't know. They just the seat of their pants. They're flying by the seat of their pants. They're taught, get a job, and that's it. That's what they're taught. Or they're going to school, and I know some kids who are just eternal students. And it's almost like they're afraid to even enter life in the regular week.
What am I going to do?
Right.
They're going to stick me out there. What am I going to do now?
Right. Right. And I can see it's scary. It's a little scary out there, I'm sure. Jobs are changing. Like you just said, AI, their jobs are not there anymore. And they're going away. But there are plenty of jobs, like you said, where they still need us. We're not dead in the water yet. And one of the things that always, as you were talking, one of the things that got to me was I remember, so I was a kid in the 70s, and I was at the tail end of desegregation. Meaning, so folks at home don't know what this is. I know our history; it's on the story too. I was bused out to white schools when I was from kindergarten to 2nd grade. So we had to get up 2 hours early in the morning and get on that bus. They took the black kids out to the white school and the white kids to the black school here in LA. And I was out to Sherman Oaks. Then they stopped it. Thank God. It didn't work anyway. Because all the black kids staying out together, the white, it didn't work at all. So anyway, we got back to, I was in, inner city, whatever, here in LA, in Inglewood. And I remember I got to school and they were like, he's too smart. So they had me take this test back then, and I was considered a mentally gifted minor. That's what they called it back in the 70s or whatever. But there were no programs set up, not in our neighborhood, not our area. So they would just take me out of the 2nd grade class and put me with the 5th graders. That's what I was reading, that level. And socially, I was not ready. I hated it. I said, you hated it. Oh my God, you thought you did something wrong. You were like, why are they isolating me? And why are they taking me from
because the teachers weren't prepared.
No. So you know the story. You know the story. I don't even tell you this. You know this story, basically. It's just an age-old story back then of just like, well, take him out of here and put him over here. With no regard for the child's emotional being or to your point, probably preparing the teacher. Because couldn't they prepare the teacher at the 2nd grade level saying, okay, If you have a student that's
differentiate instruction,
there you go.
or words that we're not supposed to say, like diversity, equity, and inclusion. What do you have to do for me differently than you've done for somebody else that's already familiar with that traditional route? I need something transformed. I need something different. And that's where that FETCO came from.
Yes.
It has to be transformed. I want to mention something to you, since you were so shocked to hold your mouth, about Omaha, Nebraska. We had court-ordered desegregated schools. See, you held your mouth, but your eyes went.
Yeah, no, I'm black girl. I can't help it. Hold on, the face, it's gonna show up somewhere.
Yeah, you need to have your camera off when I'm talking, because
I
I'm gonna
know.
tell you some
I'm
stuff
like,
about
I should show
Omaha.
up somewhere,
It's
girl.
gonna make your mouth open. But just think about it. We had to have enough Black folk in Omaha for us to be desegregated.
Yeah. Folks don't remind
and not get what we need.
And
I
folks
had a
don't.
punishment.
Oh, please, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had a punishment. That's what they thought. When I got kicked out of an all-Black school, and my punishment, believe it or not, was to have me go to an all-white school. Now, think about my junior high school class. Of that class, how many of them got beyond high school?
Oh, damn.
So that punishment was something that paid off for me in the end.
Oh, got it.
Graduated from high school, college, everything.
Yeah.
But then I was comfortable. I was mad. Why are you making me go here, buddy?
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So we have to see where our blessings come from.
Yeah.
And take advantage of them, because some people don't have those blessings.
They don't. Or they don't. They really don't. And I did, at the school I went to, eventually I did like. I mean, I liked it a lot. I have a great history at the school. And I feel bad for my younger siblings. They got compared to me, and I feel bad about that. My mother was pissed. She was like, "Do not compare my children."
Right.
I was very dynamic. I was very extroverted, and the others, they all hated it after me. And I was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm wonderful." Okay, we laugh about it now. We laugh about it now. But I agree with my mom. That was horny. You should never compare kids in the same family. But you're right. I had opportunities that it was really great. That's why I was so mad, because then I went from a great elementary to what we call it junior high back then, to a horrible high school. So high school was just business for me. Okay, I'll take these classes, get through it, and then I'm gonna go to college. I mean, it was very. I didn't care for high school. So I was like, but my other schools I enjoyed going. It was like fun. I loved my teachers, and but I got to a high school where it was gang ridden, gang infested. Teachers were checked out. It was a whole thing. And and when I got to college, I realized, luckily, I come from a family of academics. Everybody's into. We're big voracious readers. Luckily I had that on my side. But I'm thinking, what if I didn't have that on my side? What if I didn't? What if my family was just like, we don't care. They get to college, because that's a shock. We get to college, it's a whole other world, folks, where they really force you to work for your education. Luckily, I was okay to go in there, and I was able to do it. But I can only imagine folks who were like, "Huh? What? What? I got to read 1,000 pages by tomorrow? Like what's that kind of stuff?" Where I was able to handle it, but I had friends who couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it at all.
Well, just think about it. Although we lived in the projects, no, I shouldn't say although, but we lived in the projects. And like I mentioned earlier, the packing houses are in Nebraska. So the projects were strategically placed. If this is the projects, this is the packing house, and there's just a street between. So that tells you why I don't eat meat today.
Oh, funny.
But in our home, we had Britannicas.
Oh, yeah.
We had Britannica Juniors.
We did too.
We had Bible stories.
Yep. Me too.
Think about what books, if any, children have in their homes today, because they're going like this.
I know, right?
And they don't have to read.
Nope.
So why are we curious that our children can't read today? The challenge is, there's this poster that I saw one time, and it said 10 things to do to improve reading. When you catch on, I want you to join me. Number 1, read. Number 2, read. Number 3, read. Number 4,
Yes.
read. Number 5, read, read, read,
Yes,
read,
right.
read, read.
Read.
10 things to improve reading. So if we're not reading, then we're not improving it.
No. Oh my God.
And as parents, if we don't have access to things for children to read, and the public library is the perfect spot, free.
Yes. Yes. I have a library card.
Then there's no excuse. I do too.
Very proud. I do. Dr. Renee, I know adults my age who don't read books.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking, I mean, nowadays, I mean, they got audiobooks, they got, Kindle, they all kind of, they don't read nothing. I'm like, not even, I said, it's not a book that comes out, you're thinking, I want to read that. No. And also, I'm not talking about War and Peace and shit. I'm saying there's like little books and me. I got books everywhere, girl. I got books everywhere. I'm reading like 10 books at once. Right. Hello. But I know friends who one of my really good girlfriends. I love her to pieces. She's a wonderful person. I love her to pieces. But I always use her as an example. I was like, she said since high school, she has never read a book.
And that's not a surprise. That's not one of those that I'd go, are you kidding me?
I'm saying it's just so. I don't understand. I mean, I just don't understand.
Absolutely. And now that people aren't reading the newspapers,
nope.
Then even that little bit of 3rd grade, 4th grade reading is not happening.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God! What newspaper? Oh my God! My mother. So just a little side note. So my stepfather, may he rest in peace, he passed away 2 years ago. He was older than my mom, so he died at like 85. So they'll get the newspaper sent to their house every day. And Sundays, the big thick paper. We go to the coupon. We're coupon folks. That's right, folks. We do it. But the paper would come. It's for us, LA Times. I was the paper. So we would get it, and then also we'd go to the store and get here it's called the Wave. It's like the Inglewood, South Bay Wave.
The community paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's for black folks read it. And so we get both of those. And literally he would sit and we each get a section and we'd all read our sections. I'm a sports guy, so I read the sports section. He read the editorials, whatever. And we'd read, and also just like looking at the different like he liked old cars, so look at the classifieds for cars, things like that. It's like, but it was something they did every day. Paper came every day. I go to visit, I bring the paper in, and here you go. So when he died, I was like, well, should I keep the paper coming? I go, maybe why not? It wasn't expensive either to have it once a month. But I said, maybe why not? I just remind you of me. And I wanted her, because now she has no husband, to be with they were together all the time. I said, maybe good for you, remind you of him. She's a variety. We like reading. I said, why not? Well, after a while, the paper was like this thin. I was like, where's the paper? Not for lack of trying, the paper went away. The paper itself, basically, it's a shell of its former self.
Absolutely.
Well,
I have one joke I can tell you. It's not a joke because I can't tell jokes. I'll tell you that I have comedic timing often, but I can't tell a joke. Okay. But something that was funny to me is that my great aunt would always get the newspaper daily, and she would go to the last page every time. And I finally asked her one day, Auntie, why don't you start at the front and go to the back? Oh, I got to look and see if I'm in the obituary this month. Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So she would look to see whose funeral she had to go to.
Yeah, that's true too. That too, yes.
So now you don't know somebody died until somebody talks about them by accident or sends them a birthday card and they've been gone.
I found out on Facebook last night somebody died.
Oh, no.
On Facebook. And I was like, oh my gosh, I told my mother, girl, so-and-so's gone. She goes, well, I just saw her last month. I go, well, she's gone now. And so, yeah, you don't know anymore. The paper to me, I also remember my grandmother. Yeah, when I was growing up, she would come stay every once in a while. She would stay with us. And early in the morning was our time together, my grandma Mitzi. And she worked in downtown LA. She was a worker. And my grandmother was like 4'0" wore 6-inch heels, had a wig. She had hair. I always tell people, she had hair, folks, but she always wore wigs to work. So I'd get up early in the morning. It was like 6 in the morning. I'd get up with her. She'd have coffee, a cigarette hanging out her mouth, and she'd comb out the wig, making it all nice, and had the paper. It's one of my favorite things. And she was sneaking. I was in high school. So okay, you get a little bit of coffee. I'm like, I should have, now I'm all hooked on coffee. You should have coffee. I said, I won't get hooked, right? Oh, no, it'll be fine. No, but I love coffee with her, and I would sit with her, and she would test, because she was a wordsmith. And I'm an ex-spelling bee champion. Thank you very much.
All right,
And
congratulations.
I have my trophies over here. But no, she was always with test. She always said to me, before you speak the slang and have fun with words, you have to know the language. That was always her thing. Know the language. Then you can play with it and have fun with it. It just sticks to my brain. So we go over words, and she would tell me certain sense. And while she's cigarette hanging out her mouth, and she's drinking a coffee, and she's like combing out that wig and getting ready. And I remember those times.
Right.
And I wonder, because I mean, education is not just at school, as you said earlier, it's also at home. And I wonder how many kids today do not have that at all. I mean, yes, they may go, why is he smoking? Like, forget all of that part. It was a bonding moment between me and my grandmother, and she still was helping me teach me stuff. Forget the cigarette, the coffee, and all that. Just she was teaching me something. Yeah. We don't have it anymore, probably, do we? Not really.
No. Look at the example that I had. I used to have asthma. I don't claim it anymore.
Okay.
But my mother used to go like this. I hope you don't start smoking when you grow up.
Yes.
And then I say, well, children watch what you do.
Right.
In addition to listen to what you say. So the example is, don't do as I do. Right. Do as I say do.
Yep,
so what's the likelihood most children that don't have other medical problems are going to do as their parent did? Exactly. And that's our challenge. The parent is not reading now. The child is not reading now. Their children will not read unless somebody picks up the banner. And that's where educators have to step in.
Yeah.
And I have the tools to make certain that they get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. That's what it is. And but it's always been, with my kids, I was always involved. And their mothers were too. We were always very much, we knew it was a collaborative effort because it's at school, it's at home, it's in the community. It all comes together. And my kids grew up in Sacramento, California, which is a nice little small community. And it's very, right. Now I will say this I'm not a fan of Sacramento. I clawed my way out of there personally. But school wise, it was very diverse. There's my kids are mixed race, so there was very much a mixed race community there. And they really had some good schools and some really good teachers as they're coming up. So I was always happy to be involved because they would make sure the parents were in. This is the 90s, I guess. Right. But they made us really involved. My grandkids who are younger, same thing. They go to a really good preschool, really good elementary school. They are getting the same. So I know there are places that are doing this. And they're very committed to the kids. I also know the bureaucracy that's going on out there. We can't ignore it. We just can't ignore it, and it's affecting our kids. But through programs, like you said, being cut. You're right. The first programs cut are always art. Then some places are cutting sports programs. Sports, again, just as important.
Right.
It's also you learn. If I hadn't played sports, I don't even know if I would learn what it's like to be a team player, what it's like to delegate, what it's like to come up and play. I guess sports are important too. I know classrooms are getting crowded. Now they're banning books. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. So I want to ask you, Dr. Renee, what is some advice you might want to tell people in the face of all this kind of adversity? What kind of positive advice would you give to people out there?
I would say to know that you are in control of your thoughts. You put negative thoughts in there, you're going to get negative results. You put positive thoughts, you're going to get positive thoughts. There is a saying that says, if you don't know where you're coming from, you can't figure out where you're going. Where are you right now? The challenge is we have to be able to make certain that people are thinking, and thinking is so critical. Thinking is so critical. You mentioned athletics just a few minutes ago, but then if we look at the different ways that people learn, those students who are athletes probably have a comfort zone with the bodily kinesthetic intelligence. The two of us may have a comfort zone with logical, mathematical, or verbal linguistic because we like to write. Somebody else might have a comfort zone in musical rhythmic. So if we look at all of the intelligences, that's diverse. Then we have to make certain that we meet the needs of those children who have different types of learning. And that's back to that traditional versus transformed classroom settings. There is hope, but parents have to know. I mean, they have to know that they are the child's first teacher.
Right.
I participated in instrumental enrichment, which is cognitive mediation or thinking. And the challenge is the thinking part. If I don't give you the answer to the question, for example, back when I was teaching, they had the teacher answer key. At the back of the book, you could find all the answers. Well, now the internet is the teacher's answer key. We are not required to think. So the thing that I would say for people is to make certain that they encourage their children to think. Don't let them ask the question, Mama, what's today? And you say Wednesday. Instead, cognitive mediation. Mama, what's today? What was yesterday? What do you think tomorrow will be? Based on this, what do you need to do about such and such and so and so? So we should not be the answer key for our children. We should be the people who are mediators for our children and say, ask questions as opposed to providing answers. Ask questions, ask questions. Ask me any question. I'm going to ask you another question so you can solve that problem yourself, because it will require you to do the thinking and not me. That's the example that I use often. If I'm a third grade teacher and I'm the one who does all the talking, the one who does the talking is the one who does the learning. So I don't become the smartest third grade teacher. I become the smartest third grader because I've been talking that third grade stuff for however long I've been teaching. So the children have to be the ones that are doing the teaching. And if you look at FETCO in You Can Overcome Anything, it has to be fun. It has to be easy. It has to be transformational. It has to be cooperative. We didn't come in here to do this by ourselves, and it has to be ongoing. You can't tell me something one time and think I got it. You have to practice.
I agree with you 100,000%. I use it all the time right now with my nieces and nephews and grandkids. Even my mom. I'm caregiving my mom, and her functions are slowly going. And I'm encouraged. I always say that what they can never take away from you is your education. And I agree with you with thinking. I think we've become lazy thinkers. And I'm always pushing for, okay, so sound that word. Uncle James, how do I say this? We'll sound it out. How does it sound? Let's sound it out together. I just did it the other day with my nieces. She got it. I was like, see, that's okay. But if we just go, so it's just because I do want to preface this a little bit. I'm not trying to be judgy to parents.
No
I know
way.
you're busy. I know you have 10,000 things. You try to make money. It's hard out there for a parent, they say. I know it's hard. It's hard. I get it. You're out there. You're tired. I could be a parent right now. I'm tired. Well, I'm like, no, not this age. I'm not a parent. So I get it. You're tired, and you're trying to get through the day, and you got everything coming at you. But you chose to be a parent.
Right.
You still have to make that hard choices of engaging with your children. And for me, I'm a caregiver for my mom. It's like having a kid again. I'm choosing to caregive her, so I choose to say, "Okay, girl, remember that song from like let's sing that song." Like I try to push her to think because I feel like that's what's getting. I said the word lazy. That I stand by that statement. We're becoming lazy thinkers in this country. And I feel like I don't have to agree with you on everything. I don't have to. We have to be on the same side, but I'm still going to encourage you to think. To think for yourself, look into things, read. I still feel like that's our last thing we have. If we lose our minds, Dr. Renee, then what's left?
Some of us have lost our minds, and some of those persons are our decision makers.
Yeah.
So it comes back to who is leading for example, in a school district.
You're right.
Back to that same comment about if I'm focused on the children, everybody in that system is focused on the children. But if we're not requiring them to think and just fill in bubbles, then 9 times out of 10, they're not going to get it.
But I'm going to say this, folks. I don't care. It's my show. Some midterm election things are coming up. Starting to come up. I got my ballots here in LA, November 4th. I always say it starts locally.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, folks out there, if you are a parent or a person in the community, really look over those superintendent spots. Really look over those boards spots. They're not just on the ballot just for giggles. I mean, there's a reason why they're on there. So looking at something, you can get one thing you can do: go online, look up that person's name, see what they're doing, see what they're talking about. Go on their social media, see what's going on. You have to. I'm like, please. I mean, because she's right. It starts from the top down. It just always has. And so if these folks who are in these positions to make these decisions are making the best decisions for your school district, for your schools, then it's on you.
Yes, that's saying think globally, act locally.
Yep. It starts with the local stuff. Tell you folks,
Absolutely.
who is your mayor? Who is your who is your this? Who is your representative? Who is your congressman? You said earlier, who's your congressman? Like, are they representing you? Are they really doing what's well for your district? Right. And many of them, they work. Remember, they work for you. They work for us. That's kind of they're public servants. That's kind of.
Did we say? Will you say that word one more time?
I know. I think we almost forgot. They are public servants to serve the public. Yeah, that's
something they need a reminder on.
I agree completely. Refresher course, reminder, everything, Dr. Renee, everything on that one. And I don't know, and also I'm gonna say this too, because I'm a man of a certain age. I may look young and youthful, but I'm a man of a certain age.
Me too.
Yes, we're really good. Black don't crack. But here's the thing. Also, I've been hearing this from some of my older people. Don't do this. Well, I'm old, so it's too late anyway. Why should I go? Never give up. Don't give up. Do not just go, well, I'm a certain age, who cares? No, still care. Still care. And almost like what Dr. Renee said, do more than care. Still get involved if you can. If you can. Mm-hmm. Be able to. Mm-hmm. Don't just say, well, now it's on them now. I'm done. No, you're still here.
Well, I have to tell you what my favorite uncle said when he was asked, what does he do? What's his secret for longevity? And he was 89, working on 90 in a couple of weeks. And you know how those older seniors are back in the day, they would have a little chuckle in their voice.
Yeah.
So his thing was like, as a matter of fact, when you wake up, you get up. Yes. Don't just lay there.
Right.
Get up. Yes. And do something. And that has been my motto. Plus, I've added, get up with a purpose. What are your intentions for today? If we cannot figure out what our intentions are for the day, then we're on default. Wake up, brush your teeth, go to job, come back home, wait for Friday. Oh, Friday's here finally. Oh no, it's going to be Monday. Every day you should be facing and laser focused on your purpose. If not, you're wasting a lot of time. Thank you.
And I'm going to end also, because that's a great way to end there. I'm just going to add my friend, I can say my friend, Tony Basil. Many of you guys know her as he's a choreographer, dancer. Mickey was a big hit she had. Everybody knows that she knows. I interviewed her at, I think she was 74, 75. She's still around, but I interviewed like at 74 on my show. And she had said, never forget the little kid within.
Thank you.
That's why she's still youthful. That's why she can still dance in her 80s. Because she doesn't forget the kid within. And I think that applies to us here too.
Absolutely.
Do not forget the kid of you within and what you needed. And that means these kids needed too.
Absolutely. I will say one additional thing. Please. When I finally got over the trauma that I experienced and I got some help, I was 37 for something that occurred when I was 4. So all of that time. So at 37, I want you to know that 1 year from now and 2 months, that would have been half of my life.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So that means that's why I'm where I am now, and I'm the purpose pusher because I don't want anybody to take 37 years to do anything
Nope.
unless it's all good.
Oh, right.
You know?
I love it. Where can they find you, Dr. Renee, if they want to talk to you? Where can they find you?
My telephone number, and I'm still a phone kind of person, and I do answer my phone, is 619-514-6035.
That's a San Diego number. I know that number.
It certainly is. And then I have to share with you what my website is, but I have to do it in a rhythmic pattern because we remember rhythms.
Okay.
So it's a time for peace. And peace is spelled PEAC3E. PEAC3E, which stands for Propensity in Education with an Academic Curriculum Centered on Culture and Equity. 3Cs.com.
I got it. I'll put that.
A time for peace.com, but it's PEAC3E.
I got it. Yes. I love it. I love it, folks. Thanks for being on the show. You're welcome back anytime. I'll tell you back on again anytime.
Okay, it's still recording. Y'all heard that. I have witnesses.
And you guys know I don't invite nobody on I don't like, so they're gonna about that. I like her, so you have to that's the truth.
Well, thank you. That's a compliment, and I appreciate it.
Folks, I'm James Lott Jr. ALottaHelp.com is with 2 T's, Lott, L-O-T-T, like Ronnie Lott and all the Lotts. So yes, LottHelp.com, James Lott Jr. everywhere, Extra Connections on Facebook. We again, as I always end these shows, connections is very important. What I do affects you, what you do affects me, whether we know each other or not. And I believe that ripple effect is everywhere. So let's make some good ripples. Let's have some good ripples out there and have some good effects because we do need that in the world today. And I
A
will
ripple makes a wave.
Let's make a big wave, good wave.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll see you next Wednesday for another episode.